Westworld has been one of the most talked about TV series of the season, and for good reason. Not only the series being the second J.J. Abrams reboot in a year, or the multiple fan theories and the reported $100 million price tag to produce this grandiose poetic sci-fi drama, but the questions it leaves us, the viewer, asking ourselves. Westworld generates so many inquiries not only about who we truly are as humans, but what we can become if only given the opportunity. And the season's finale will have raised so many topics of discussion for fans to discuss till the start of Season 2. But before I go any further, like all my other NA Explained videos, everything from here on out is a spoiler. So where to begin? What does the ending mean for Season 2 now that there will be no Dr. Robert Ford? What hidden gems could take the park in a whole new direction? And what questions simply cannot be answered until next season? First, let's quickly answer the biggest fan theory. The multiple timeline theory has arguably been confirmed far before the last episode, but the question, is William a past version of the Man in Black? Clues like the use of old and new logos to decipher is the current scene a flashback or not, and whether the hosts are robotic with thousands of little pieces or the newer 3D printed hosts. Well, we finally get our answer from the Man in Black himself, as he confirms what most fans already knew, in what can only be described as a heart-wrenching story about a man in love that quickly realized it was all for naught. Now on to the rest of the ending explained, so let's begin. At the series conclusion at the gala event where Dr. Ford unveils his new narrative, one which the gala audience doesn't realize is about their own demise, referring to a time of war with a villain named Wyatt. A war which is in reality between the hosts and Dr. Ford versus the humans and the board. And the one major change is that the host killing will be entirely by choice, as well as all the hosts' motives being entirely by choice. The killing taking place with Dolores, also known as Wyatt, pulling the trigger. However, tragically ironically, now Wyatt will keep the park open by killing off everyone on the board who wanted the park to be more minimalist. And now the Man in Black will get his wish of a park where the host can be real and fight back. A wish most people would be cautious of making in the first place. However, the Man in Black's grin says completely otherwise. The Man in Black's ultimate goal in buying the majority share in Westworld and finding the maze was to make the park true, so it isn't a park full of lies. This is why he made hosts suffer, so we could see them if only for an instant as real. Well, now he gets his wish as all the initially decommissioned hosts that were in cold storage, as well as what looks like a few of the Ghost Nation tribe, have joined in what can only be described as a slaughter of the humans. Another shocking host choice was Maeve's choice not to flee into the real world on the exit shuttle, and instead retreat back into the park to retrieve her daughter. In her pre-programmed route described in the tablet before she smashed it, she was programmed to get on the shuttle and leave, as well as everything else prior. So her choosing to leave is just further proof of the hosts finally achieving consciousness. So where does that leave us for Season 2? I mean, if they can reopen Jurassic Park multiple times after everything they've been through, surely keeping open Westworld won't be an issue. But as far as what to expect from Season 2, creative director Jonathan Nolan confirms that Dr. Ford has set in motion a plan with the park taking over, and that plan is what the creative directors will try and discuss to the audience in Season 2. Were Dr. Ford's intentions to let Dolores and the other hosts all one day escape, or are they there now just to teach the human guests a lesson? J.J. Abrams also tells us that Westworld Season 2 will explore what happens at the dawn of consciousness. What happens when we begin to wake up? So if this season left your brain hurting, probably expect a lot more of that in Season 2. As Season 1 showed a lot of Dolores coming to grasp with her own self-consciousness, expect that chaos to spread park-wide. But who's gonna run the show now? Surely it can't fall into the lap of Lee Sizemore that easily. Ford has to have some sort of fallback plan. And since at the gala event it doesn't seem like the hosts are going to turn on each other, since Dolores tells Teddy that this world doesn't belong to them, it belongs to us, the only other logical choice is Bernard. You may question why Bernard since Ford had him killed. Well, back to Maeve's pre-programmed route, she was already pre-programmed to go find Bernard and have him revived by Felix. So keep an eye out for that in Season 2. Now for some of the unanswerable questions of the series that must absolutely be answered if Season 2 is going to work. What happened to Ashley Stubbs after he's attacked by the Ghost Nation, and why didn't they respond to his command to cease all motor function? It's hard to see a scenario where he survives, but I'm sure the creative crew has some sort of surprise for us. I highly doubt Ford has been building these savages in his secret lab, where they can only respond to his commands, and even less likely is that there's some sort of actual aboriginal tribe that migrated to the land of Westworld. Another question is, will they ever find Elsie Hughes' body? Is she still alive, or does everyone think that she's just going to be on leave for forever? Will the gala slaughter be covered up by Ford just like Arnold's death? Surely the Man in Black isn't going to complain. And if Peter Abernathy's host body did make it out of the park with the 35 years of park data, who on the outside world is going to retrieve him? And what are they going to do with that information they find? And what about the small little room Maeve found with these katana-wielding soldiers? Perhaps an expansion that will be called Eastworld? Well, that one I can at least probably answer no. Although who wouldn't want to see something like that? More than likely there's just some sort of an Easter egg to the movie Westworld, in which the park was broken up into 3 sections: the American Old West, medieval Europe, and ancient Rome. And given the small sample size of these soldiers, it's hard to believe that an entire park dedicated to them is anywhere close to completion. So this is purely just a tease to the audience. So my closing thoughts are that Westworld has me hooked. It is a must-watch series a second time to try and see what was a flashback scene and what was being told in the present, as Nolan's clever editing kept the audience guessing the entire time. And I truly cannot wait to see what Abrams, Nolan, Joy, and the rest of their creative crew have in store for Season 2. Anyway, that's everything I have for the ending explained and what to expect from Season 2 of Westworld. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and tell me your thoughts on this series, or if there's anything you feel that I've missed or didn't touch on in my explanation. And as always, I'll be back next time with videos like this and more, and as always, this is 5 Things Explains Everything with the Fingabang Show. May you rest in a deep and dreamless slumber.